Yeah,
with your draft history and whatnot, what would be your plan for what you guys should do at pick 13 in this upcoming draft?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, which makes me want to cry a little more. First of all, we could have had Chris Jones, which I much rather would have had than Christian Wilkins, and that makes me even more sad while I talk about it. But also making me sad is the past Raiders draft, and it just doesn't go past the, since 2019 when you mentioned Jonathan Abrams. We've only had one good draft, and that was that draft when we had Jacobs and Max Crosby, and it's very sad because we just don't draft well. So the past 5 years, your first rounders have been Abrams, Clelin Ferrell, as you mentioned, Damon Arnett, who's out the league, Henry Ruggs, as just mentioned over there, is out of the league.
He's on a hiatus.
Rest in peace.
He's on hiatus.
Rest in peace to the young lady, but it was horrible. Whatever it was, and the dog. Alex Leatherwood last year or 2 years ago, gone. You can go all the way back. We've just been burned every year, and lately by defensive linemen. So as mentioned, you had Tyree Wilson last year, barely played as a rookie, got some run, but didn't really do too much with it. Clelin Ferrell in 2019. And then there's other picks that we've had in the second and third rounds that haven't worked out. We picked Byron Young from Alabama. We picked the other Byron Young from Tennessee. I don't know why we were like the Byron so much, but maybe we'll pick Byron this year at 13.
You don't succeed, try again.
Right.
And, I mean, if you extend the list, you got Trayvon Mullen, and you got all these other just guys that we picked that just aren't even in the league anymore. And it's just like, for the past 20 years, we have not been able to draft well. And it's just been failure after failure in the draft that has led to this. As well, you compound that with the salary cap failures that we've had in people that we've signed that haven't panned out and things like that. You're just going to put yourself in a hole, just like you said, Mar. And so at the pick, what I think they should do, to bring it back to your question, I believe we are going to go defense, and I believe they're going to use the rest of the draft to fill out the offensive line and then some pieces in the secondary and the linebacker core. So I think at the 13 pick, we're probably going to go Terry and Arnold at 13, cornerback from Alabama, is what I have been hearing mostly lately. Now, also, there are talks of, obviously, if any quarterbacks were to fall there, which is not as likely, you're hoping that a Daniels or Drake May would get a bad report. I saw, reports on the internet bad on him today. So you're hoping that someone drops, probably very unlikely. So again, you could be looking at offensive tackle, the Talis Fuaga from Oregon State, right tackle who would fit really well into new offensive coordinator Luke Getsy's zone running scheme. He would fit really well there, and we do need a right tackle since Jermaine Illuminor just went to the Giants. But I do like the Arnold pick that I mentioned. I believe we have a good secondary, but as I mentioned earlier, they're very young. We got Ja'Cory and Bennett last year that we drafted out of Maryland. Chris Smith last year we drafted in the 5th round out of Alabama. You go back, but we also lost, Meek Robertson. So there's that push and pull. So I think that this would be a really good pick for us. I think he's a premium one. And after last year, when I thought we should have gone with Christian Gonzalez from Oregon instead of Tyree Wilson, we didn't. I think this year they need to make up for it and go cornerback.